Tuesday night, we have our second match in the space of 7 days. On Saturday, Cherries soundly defeated West Brom in the FA Cup. 5-1 no less. This weekend coming, it's the longest Premier League trip as we go to Newcastle. But before that, it's Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But Bournemouth have got an injury crisis, right? How will this play out? And what will be a satisfactory points tally from our next 4 games? We're playing 4 of the top 5. We need to discuss it. Welcome to the Big Match Preview. This is Back of the Net. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
The last time we played at Stamford Bridge, it was the last day of the last season. And to give you a montage of the game is the last thing we wanted to do. But here it is.
They scored. Sterling.
Tom, you just seen the goal, what happened?
Watch it.
Oh my God, what? Right. Tom, shall we get up there?
2-1 loss then, Tom. And that was the last time we saw Dom Solanke. Well, most of us saw Dom Solanke because some of us went to America to watch the pre-season games, eh?
Some of us had a little chat with him, a little picture with him and that before he went.
2-1 loss though. And it was a lovely sunny day in West London. Chelsea did get the W. They were going into that game, Chelsea, on an unbeaten run of 5 games, I think. Alas, it was Neto in goal. Slight howler that let in Caicedo for an unbelievable lob.
Yeah, I think, no, you're right. And it was still well executed. But I think actually the Sterling goal, who always scores against us, so I'm glad he's not there,
was worse.
That was worse goalkeeping.
I knew you'd say that.
Yeah, it was. She was awful. And then I thought Unai scored, but I think it went down as a Badiashile own goal, didn't it? Just after half time. But it was a game that we weren't anything on it, was there really? So for us in particular. But apart from that, I've had some all right ones at Stamford Bridge, I must say.
You have. Now, it felt like for a while we were Chelsea's bogey side, but that is probably a thing of the past now. Yes, we've won there 3 times, of course. Yes, we've smashed them at home, but since gaining promotion to the Premier League, we've actually lost there 6 times in all competitions, and we haven't had a result against them post-COVID. So can we really say that it's our playground anymore? Possibly not. I sense a tide has been turned a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And obviously when we got them wins, it was when they weren't in a great place. I think there might have been a game or 2 after. We almost got 3 managers to sack there.
Yeah.
Because I think we beat Conte, Sarri and Mourinho,
That's
I think.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a few big wins there, but they weren't in a great place. But to be fair, I think some of them stats are skewed because we've played in a lot of cup competitions where, we've gone to Stamford Bridge with like a backup team and not expected anything. But we've got more results there in the Premier League era than I would have expected, put it that way, and some big ones as well. A couple of 1-0s and then the 3-0 one as well was pretty special.
That was good. I think Chelsea fans on the whole will be pretty satisfied with how their first season under Enzo Maresca has panned out. They're looking more competitive, and yes, I know they've had a bit of a recent drop-off, but it seems like they're going in the right direction. He's had 30 games in charge there already. He's got a win percentage that's better than Jose Mourinho. And he's done well, actually, with managing such a big squad, because it is a huge squad that he's had to manage. And he's got his 11 players that he seems to like, and they're fringe players.
Yeah.
He sort of knows which ones he wants to involve. It was a big job for him.
It was, and he's done better than I think most anticipated. Thought he might need a little bit more time. He's clearly a good coach. I think what's helped them in a weird way has been in the Conference League. And what he was clever with is because you can obviously redo the squad into the knockouts, and he didn't even name in particular Cole Palmer in the squad. And he's used that Conference League because their backup team's going to win every game there anyway. So he's used that to keep everyone happy because he can just play 2 teams. And I said that because obviously we've just had cup action. And I thought it's not really going to affect Chelsea because they can just play another 11. They've got a really big squad, but Yeah, that European competition, because it's a little bit less, has probably been the best thing that could have happened to them.
Yeah.
If they were in the Champions League or Europa and they had to be a bit stronger, that might have hurt them a bit more. They've had a few injuries, but they've, like you say, they've got the squad. They've got some really good players, but he's got them looking like a team quicker than I thought he would.
Absolutely. And both teams are coming into this with 5-star performances in the FA Cup last weekend. Of course, Chelsea beat Morecambe, but for us, a 5-1 drubbing.
Do you get PTSD, by the way, when you hear a Morecambe game and 5-0? We lost at Morecambe 5-0.
Is 5-1 a drubbing,
Yeah.
a thrashing, a hammering? Which one is it?
All of them.
It's all of them, but look, they were put to the sword, the baggies, at Dean Court. So we need to talk about it because we have no time for a second look, given that it's such a tight schedule. And look, first 20 minutes, it was a bit worrying, but then we just felt our way into the game. And then for the rest of it, second gear, third gear at times, just dominated, really.
Yeah, it was a weird, and you know, let's just caveat with West Brom did rest some players as well,
course.
because when you say, you know, it's because it is impressive to beat a championship outfit so comfortably, you know, with a lot of players out, but they rested some players too. I think we just had too much quality. I think weirdly now in hindsight, the worst thing for them was scoring quite early, because then it always shook us up and went, oh, let's turn it on a bit.
100%.
But players like some players out there just looked a class above. I think Tyler Adams was exceptional. Zabani as well, just looked like he was playing against kids, to be honest.
Brooks was brilliant.
And Brooks technically was incredible. And everyone had a good performance, to be fair.
Including
Dango. Was delighted for him to go. I mean, it's mad, isn't it? We said this when we had the injury crisis. We went, he'll just find someone else, put him up front, and they'll score goals. And that's what happened.
But it was only West Brom, though.
It was, and they were
no disrespect.
You know, but still, when you're like in the positions he were, where he scored, you've still got to finish them, and he finished them both really, really well, to his credit. Managed to rest a few, rotate a few, bring some subs off. People like Winterburn played a full game, was really pleased for him. His pressing was incredible. And even someone like, I said to you off camera, someone like Max Aarons, who played 45 minutes, he might have even been gone by the time this goes out, because it looks like he's on his way. Everyone knew he's going. And for him to still go, I'll play 45 minutes so you can rotate the squad a bit, is testament to him. I think he could have easily said, I don't want to be injured, I'm going tomorrow.
Out of all the things that Chris Reeve said when we signed him, I think that's the thing that stuck with me, because there were rumours of him storming out of a Leeds medical to sign for Bournemouth and all this kind of stuff. And he said his character is just what we saw at the weekend. I mean, he was all right, like you say. It wasn't a mind-blowing performance, but it turned up when he probably didn't have to.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you're going like the next few days, you can I think you could say, look, you obviously don't want me. I don't want to get injured. That could literally ruin his whole season. If you got a knock, you don't get the move, and then he's just sat out all the time. So yeah, credit to him for that. And yeah, we managed to, as I say, rotate a few, and then bring back the bagsman Dan Jefferson as well, who's now scored the same amount of goals as Mo Salah this year. So yeah, stick that, Watford.
And look, we were recording our preview when the breaking news of Phil Billing happened, so we didn't really get a chance to chat about it too much. But obviously he's now gone to Napoli, and he's one of the weapons that we can bring on from the bench. And so now, against Chelsea, we've got fewer and fewer of those. Indeed, we'll probably have some new faces on the bench with a couple of the lads, maybe, that we brought back from Carlisle. Yeah,
no, exactly, mate. And yeah, credit to Billing for kind of wanting to go and play as well. He's getting the odd bits and bobs. He could have just sat there and gone, I'll just come on now and again, take the money and whatever. But he obviously wants to go and play a bit more regularly and get back into it. So fair play to him. He's top of the league. He could win Serie A quite comfortably this season. So I think him, Billy Gilmore and Scott McTominay is now the midfield three at Napoli, which is mad. But yeah, I'm kind of pleased for him as well, because I just think, he's been a credit to the football club since he's been here, to be honest with you. He could have thrown his toys out the pram when we got relegated. He stuck with us, helped us get promoted in a massive way. And then I think under that period under O'Neill, where we looked like we could go down, he scored more than Solanke that season, didn't he? And so it's a big moment. Unfortunately, sometimes we spoke about it enough, players and systems don't quite align. And Billing just don't think was quite the type of player in the mould that Andoni wanted. But yeah, I'm sure he'll do well for Napoli, and yeah, wish him all the best, mate. And hopefully he does well there, because then obviously it gets us some money, and he can like revive his career again.
So as we take a look at the league table, it's interesting to know that if we put in another 5-star performance and win 5-0, we'll actually leapfrog Chelsea at the moment. They are on 36 points at the moment. We are in 7th place on 33 there. These next 2 games, I believe, are going to be such an acid test. But look, Bournemouth are unbeaten in their last 8 Premier League games. Only Liverpool and Arsenal are on longer current runs without defeat. Of course, we know it's Cherries' longest ever such run in the competition. I don't know, Tom. I want to be optimistic, but I sense that run might end over the next couple of games.
We'd be surprised if it doesn't. Chelsea away, Newcastle away. Obviously not dipping into, we've got the Chelsea end first, but Newcastle on an unbelievable run. Chelsea aren't. Let's remember, they've done one in the cup competitions, but they haven't won a few in the league.
No, they haven't.
So, they're there to be got at. I think, listen, they've got quality all over the pitch. We saw in the home game that I thought we were more than a match for them, deserved something out of the game, but then they kept the door closed and showed a bit of quality at the end, didn't they? And they've always got Armory to come on. We saw that in that game, and Kunku come on. I think Sancho come on and got the assist. So, they've got loads of weapons. And listen, if we stay unbeaten after Chelsea and Newcastle away, then bloody hell, make sure you definitely renew the passports. But it's going to be difficult. But as I've always said, I'm going to stick to it a little bit. Don't worry about the on paper so much. We don't mind teams having a go. I don't mind teams having a go. If we can, obviously goalkeeper have a good game, all them little bits of luck go for you. I think when teams have a go, we can hurt teams on the break.
Last time we played them, of course, at their place, I think he rested Dom Solanke and brought him on later on to the game. Do you remember that miss at the very end where he could have equalised and got a point?
So it was one of his last competitive touches for us, wasn't it?
It was.
And he absolutely skied it. Yeah, because he, obviously, like we said, Rabadiashvili's own goal was an Unal shot because he gave Unal a chance, didn't he? So, but yeah, it's going to be, weirdly, because it ended that long ago, but 2 quite different type teams, I would have thought.
Absolutely. Let's check out the form table then. And
yes,
in the last 4 league games for Chelsea, like you sort of say, a bit of a dip. 3 were away: Everton, Ipswich and Palace, and Fulham at home. Of course, Chelsea, I think, would have been targeting these games to keep them in the title hunt, but it didn't pan out like that, with Chelsea gaining just 2 points, drawing Everton and Palace, and that Fulham one, of course, with the fierce derby of Fulham-Chelsea, which is, I think, maybe a one-way thing. Maybe that's how Southampton feel when it comes to us. But look, Bournemouth are 5th in that table at the moment.
Bad,
Chelsea,
just to make sure, you've got to be fair. You've got to look at the whole thing. Who's bottom of the form?
Southampton, mate.
Oh, okay. Wondered.
Southampton.
Their form's a bit iffy. The only thing that I kind of caveat what I said about kind of being on the counter-attack, etc., the games they struggled in, Palace, Everton, they're teams that low block. We won't play like that.
No.
So that might suit them as well. So,
true.
Fair to say that one, I suppose.
As you can see, we're at the courtroom at the QP, the home of AFC Bournemouth fans on a home match day. Good to see it was bustling at the seams, both before and after our game against West Brom. And this being the courtroom, this is the fans' room. This is your room. And if you're a subscriber to Back of the Net, you can hire it for free. There are details at the bottom of the screen if you want to get in touch with Joe, who's the main man at this place. There's an email address and a phone number. So why not get involved and use this for any kind of event or function, reception, whatever you want to do. And it's the home of the £10 roast, Tom, isn't it?
It is indeed. Well, 9 for me because I'm a season ticket holder. Season ticket holder is £9. But yeah, come down here, get on down here. There's actually day after the Chelsea game on the Wednesday. We're trying to get some fans down here, aren't we? My old man and Mandy had organised a little event. I think it's between 1 to 7. Just come down, have a coffee, have a chat, talk about Bournemouth. There'll probably be a quiz and different bits and bobs on. So yeah, get on down here and it's a good place, mate. We've got it kitted out nicely there.
Beautiful stuff. If you're brand new here, there's a couple of things you could do that really helps us out.
Yeah, click the like button, click the subscribe button and click the bell. It's just 3 things. Do that. We'd appreciate it so much.
Because there's content on the way, so there's going to be a reaction after the game. Whether it'll be a fan cam jobby, I'm not too sure. I don't think we've ever done fan cams outside Stamford Bridge. It's always been on our way back.
Yeah, and I think there was one time we were going to, it was a bit of a nightmare. I think the police tried us, weren't happy about it. But yeah, we'll do some sort of reaction to the win, of course. I'll do player ratings on the old Telegram.
Which is part of Ko-fi, and that's for all the people that have supported us. We've got a few new faces in there recently. AFCBpodcast.com/coffee. If you want to get involved in that, we truly appreciate anyone that helps donate relentlessly every month from as little as £3. Totally appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Player ratings of that. There'll be a vlog as well, right?
Of course, you'll be straight on that, get that whole vlog out. Then we'll have to review the game. Then we'll have to talk about the Newcastle preview. Loads to do. And then we've got to go to Newcastle. I mean, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, but it's all worth it, mate. It'll all be worth it if we can get maybe like 2 points.
Right, let's go over Chelsea's recent results then, and we'll start from the beginning of December. Why not? And a solid win over the Villa.
Yeah, I remember watching that game, actually. Villa were terrible, but Chelsea played really well, and, beat Villa 3-0 was no mean feat. And then, obviously, whatever, you go to Southampton, win 5-1, we can all do that. The Tottenham game was a cracker, wasn't it? And it was kind of what you expected. You thought Tottenham would probably score a few goals, but Chelsea will kill them off, and 4-3, I think it was. They've obviously won in the Conference League a few times. I think they beat Astana from Kazakhstan. I can't wait to go there next season. And Shamrock Rovers as well, smash them. Beat Brent. But the main thing, I think, when you have them 2 games, is it shows that you played Brentford in between it, and you still get the result, 2-1. And then it got a little bit weird for them. I mean, Everton 0-0, it sounds horrific, but it's not a massive shock. You know what, Everton also done it against Arsenal and City, haven't they, drawn? So we know what they're like. We only just nicked a 1-0 recently. The Fulham one was a late goal, wasn't it? They got sucker punched at the end. Ipswich away was surprising, but fair play to Ipswich. I think they earned it on the night. Really felt they'd have too much for Palace, but obviously didn't. And then obviously got back to winning ways in the FA Cup against Morecambe.
Yeah, so after a run of 5 consecutive Premier League victories, Chelsea are now winless in each of their last 4. They last had a longer run without a win in the same season between March and May in 2023. Let's check out our head-to-head record with the Chelsea. First played them in 1988, and Bournemouth actually won that game 1-0. That was in League Division 2.
Did you go to that?
I did not go. I don't know. I might have. It may have taken me along. Not too
Can't
sure.
remember,
You definitely didn't.
No, I was -3. I think.
You're -3. But look,
we didn't beat him for ages.
We've had a few W's though, haven't we?
But what's it? Right, see if you can get it off the cuff. So you can see there that obviously we beat them when we first came up to the Premier League 1-0. It was Glenn Murray.
Yep.
At Stamford Bridge. Then we didn't beat them again until 2018, where we beat them 3-0 at their place. There was an ex-Bournemouth player that played in both of them games for Chelsea.
For Chelsea?
Yeah. Played in both of them games. Started in both of them games.
What, in 2015 and 2018?
Yeah. Gary Cahill.
Gary Cahill.
And then
Will he appear on the plate for both later on?
Oh, we might do. And then the next 2 wins, 4-0 and 1-0 back-to-back. Kepa was in goal for both of them.
Look at that.
So there you go. Nice little start there. But yeah, it was weird. We've had some really weird, amazing wins, but also recently they've had a little bit too much. There was that draw fairly recently where we probably earned that as well. Was it was a 0-0, but was there a 2-2? I feel like it was a 2-2 around COVID-ish time.
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah, at home.
Yeah, I remember that because that bloody Alonso scored near the end, but we nearly won that one.
Lerma
as well.
scored a header in that one, didn't
That's
he?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
I miss you.
But in our record with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Bournemouth have won 4, drawn 0, lost 4. Pretty even, I must say. However, in all competitions, won 5, drawn 2, but Bournemouth have lost 14. Bournemouth, though, are just one of 4 sides to win more matches away against Chelsea than they have at home. The other sides to have done that: Brentford, Burnley, and Wimbledon. Random. Let's check out the team news then. So in terms of Chelsea injuries, mate, they're not exactly in a bad place, I would say. They've got about 5 or 6 out, maybe.
Yeah, you know how strong their squad is anyway. So they're always in a good place. There were a few doubts, but it sounds like they're all going to be okay. So that was Madueke, Lavia, and Reece James. So they could be involved. Apparently they're available. But yeah, Fofana's definitely out, which is a big blow for them.
Injury.
And Badiashile as well, who could have been his replacement. So they're probably a little bit weak next to Colwell at centre half, but they've got loads of options, mate. Not sure with Nkunku because it was an illness, I believe, and then Madueke is all right now. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. But Mudryk is suspended, isn't he?
That's something.
So that's something. He's got a suspension. Dewsbury Hall, I think, still out. I reckon he'll go in this window, Dewsbury Hall, by the way. And then Kellyman, the young lad. But yeah, they're in a decent spot, I would say.
Bournemouth injuries could be maybe on a separate show, but we're going to do it on this
one.
one. However, the list is pretty endless. Thankfully, I don't think there are any new injuries since we last did a preview show for West Brom, eh?
Yeah, and I hope that Christie's all right. He's had an illness, apparently, but hopefully he's all right. We could have a few back in the squad, but certainly no one to come back and start, I wouldn't have thought. So that'll be still without Sinisterra, Senesi, Araujo, Scott, Tavernier, Smith, Evan Nilsson, Unau. So yeah, quite a few still out. And I think Soler's gone to Argentina as well. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
He's gone now, but we've bought two lads back on loan from Carlisle in Dominic Sadie and Daniel Iraola. So we'll see.
In terms of Chelsea's player to watch, I mean, we can't not say Cole Palmer, can we?
No, I suppose not. He's classy footballer, and I think he'll either play wide or in a 10. But even when he's wide, he comes inside a lot. You know what type of player he is, but he's so difficult to stop. He's just he's one of the top players in the Premier League for sure.
Scored 13 goals and 6 assists in his last 8 league games. He's scored 6 goals, 2 of them from the spot and 1 assist. But yeah, he's also created more chances than any other player in the Premier League this season with 57.
You know when you always there's that stupid thing of fans always do it. You boo like ex-players unless you love them.
Yeah.
Do we boo Nicholas Jackson because he had a medical here? I'm not very sure. So it's a weird one about Jackson because I kind of feel like, is he an ex-Bournemouth player? I mean, he isn't. But he was in the building.
True. A lot of Chelsea fans will be looking at the Bournemouth side and the name Antoine Semenyo is always brought up in terms of the danger man. Name someone else that they can maybe keep their eye on.
Daniel Gieba. No, I went Dango Batara, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's worth saying Dango Batara because he'll probably have to play up front. I mean, he might do something different. But for Chelsea fans that aren't aware, obviously we've got a couple of injuries. So our only actual strikers, we've recalled Dan Jefferson from Watford where he scored 0. And we've recalled Daniel Iraola, who was on loan at Carlisle and I believe scored 1. So we're probably going to put a kind of winger attacker up top. We tried Dango Batara there, who's been in and out of the team from a wide position. But we tried him up front in the cup game, scored 2. So he's probably earned the right, and he's quick, and on counter-attacks and that, he'll certainly cause some problems in behind, but obviously a completely different test playing against Chelsea's back four to West Brom's.
The referee for this game is Rob Jones. He's in charge for the 3rd time this season, again against a London club. We've had home against Arsenal, away against Fulham, so unbeaten. He sent one of the Arsenal players off, of course, Saliba. So how will this one go? Hopefully he'll maintain his unbeaten record with the Cherries. Right, played for both end. We've got an 11 and we've got them in their rough positions. Well, one of them's played a certain position only once in his career, but we're going to go with it anyway. So, come on then, Tom. Here's an 11. Name the names.
I can already think of 3 goalkeepers, so
go on.
We'll do that. Do you want me to name the other 2 as well? So the ones you haven't put are Asmir Begovic and Nick Colgan.
Oh, superb.
Love that. I was well happy with that. But Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal.
Yeah, we've got a back sort of 3 central defenders.
I've got MD, Michael Dubry, Gary Cahill and Nathan Ake.
Big one, superb.
I know that's Warren Cummins.
Yeah.
Who's our bit? Have you put a left back at right back?
He's played there once in his career.
Ryan Bertrand. He's a Champions League winner, by the way, Ryan Bertrand.
Yeah, great.
In the middle, Jack Cork.
Yes.
GP,
we're going back a little bit.
Of course we are.
90s.
Is it? I know a GP, but I might sound stupid because I don't. Is it Gavin Peacock?
It's Gavin Peacock, of course.
JS. I know that's Mark Steen up front, by the way, with Dom Solanke.
Yeah. And one more.
JS. Is it my era as well?
It's 2000. His surname sounds very similar to the one that sang Castle on the Hill.
Joe Sheeran. Yeah, I forgot about him, but good, that was a good little clue there. But I'm trying to think if there's many more. Like I say, we knew the goalkeepers.
There probably are.
It just feels like there's quite a lot.
There probably are. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Put some names that we haven't mentioned there, because I'm sure.
Oh.
Go on.
Because like the Warren Cummins thing where you think he didn't really play for him, he was like a youngster. Danny Hollins was the other one. But apart from that, he's got to be in the team over Sheeran. Get him out.
Right, we'll check out Matt's stats. He, of course, on Vitals every week provides a detailed look at the last 4. We talked about the fact that they've only gained 2 points from those last 4. Bit of an underachievement based on the XG, where Chelsea were slightly the better team in all games, except you'd probably say Fulham at home. The average positions you can see on screen, no real clear pattern apart from, they're fairly advanced, you got to say, and often have their right wing. So that's going to be Madueke probably, based on what you're putting. We don't know yet, but fairly advanced. So whoever's on that left side, it'll be Kirkers. That'll be an interesting battle. It really will. So
many options, mate, because they can move Palmer out there.
They can do whatever.
They've got Neto, they've got Madueke, they've got Jadon Sancho. Do you know what I mean? They've got so many options there.
But Bournemouth have had more goal attempts per game in the last 4. If you compare the two sides, defensively, it's actually the reverse. So the stats actually look good for AFC Bournemouth. In terms of the possession, this is the one that is usually quite key with the Cherries. Chelsea have a higher possession percentage than AFCB, which is good. Pass completions in Chelsea's favour. Chelsea have a higher percentage of chances created from open play, whilst the proportions conceded from open play are fairly similar.
Let them have it.
Let them have the ball.
Let them have the ball, and then we'll just get it back and we'll explode on them.
Come on. Right, let's predict those teams. Come on. And Tom.
Yes.
Right, let's go with Chelsea then. We've got them in a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I'm guessing Sancho's come back in goal. Obviously, they rested him as most teams do for the backup goalkeeper. I'm going to stick Gusto at right back. I know Reece James, he said, is available, but we all know his injury record. I'll be surprised if they chuck him straight back in. So I'm going to keep Gusto in there. As we mentioned, Fofana and Badiashile are out. They could play Dizazi, but I think they're going to go with Tosin Adebayo because he's been doing well since he come in.
He scored against us before,
He has for Fulham, and he scored against Morecambe, didn't he? So, I think him and Colwill at centre-backs and Cucurella at left-back. They have got Lavia back this summer, but I think they're going to stick with Saicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Keep Palmer in that kind of 10 role. I'm going to bring Madueke back in. Could be Sancho, but I'm going to bring Madueke back in off the right, Neto off the left, and Nicholas Jackson through the middle.
Okay, as for Bournemouth then, 4-2-3-1 again.
Yeah,
what are we going for then, Tom?
Well, we have to play Travers.
We have to.
Because we can't play Kepa, as obviously Chelsea fans will know. Mark Travers in goal. I mean, we could have a surprise people back, but I still think whatever happens, the back four from right to left has to be James Hill, Ilya Zabani, Dean Howson and Milos Kerkez. Yeah. I thought Adams played so well in the Cup. I'm hoping Cook and Christie will be fine. So I'm actually going to put them all in. I'm going to do Cook and Adams, and I'm going to have Christie a little bit more advanced.
Oh, so this means someone's missing out.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking as well, who's their main threat? Cole Palmer. Get Cook and Adams in there.
Yeah,
Christie run around in front of them.
Like that.
It might be an opportunity to do it. And he loves having a bit of pace on the bench, doesn't he? An option. You said, like, Binning's gone from the bench. I think Kluivert might be on the bench because Brooks played so well. So I'm going to start Brooksy on the right, put Anton Semenyo on the left, and then Dango Ouattara to keep his place up top.
So impact substitutes, we're talking Kluivert, Jefferson.
Yeah, well done.
Who else?
Dominic Sadie, Daniel Adouaje.
Everyone.
Who else have we got on the bench? Max Kingsley-Wellens, Ben Winterburn for the press. But listen, there might be, he said a few are getting closer, so there might be a surprise like a Cine or a Tav that could play 10 minutes. I don't know. But I think that's what he could go with. He could quite comfortably play Kluivert, obviously, and drop one of their midfielders out. Mm-hmm. But I think you're more likely to, if we need a goal, you take off James Hill, you move Cookie back, and you bring Kluivert on. So I think it works quite well. And obviously Jeb's going to come off the bench to get the winner.
Do you think that usually he'll sort of make his changes on around 60, 65? Do you think he'll try to just eke a bit more out of them for maybe 75?
Yeah, maybe. I think there might, rather than like double or treble, there might be like one on 6, and then you might wait till like 80, 70, 80. So yeah, because we just haven't got them options at the moment. But listen, even if we had the options, these two, Chelsea away and Newcastle away, are two, not bonus fixtures, but they're two fixtures that you'll be shocked if Bournemouth got anything. Yeah. So I think the fact that we'll have players back, hopefully, return them in games where you want points more, and I think it's not a bad thing if you want to spin a positive on it.
The game is live on TNT. I think it's a whole midweek fixture schedule that's live
7:30 as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 7:30 kick-off. So if you get in the train, make sure you rush back to Clapham. Is that that's where everyone gets off. We're driving this one, so
are you driving? I'm not driving, am I?
I don't think so.
No,
on this occasion,
you're going to do it.
You're not.
Oh, cheers, mate. No, I appreciate that.
I'll do anything for you. But look,
I hate 7:30 because you're in the pub and then you go, "We got to go." No, we don't. Oh, what? It's half hour earlier than I thought.
What's your prediction, mate? What you got?
We ain't going to lose. I don't think we'll lose.
Oh, piss off!
I've got I don't mind playing these sort of games. I think if they're clinical, they'll have too much, but will cause them problems. And I back our centre halves. Every time Travers has to come in, he always has a good game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think they'll get a goal and look like they're going to do it, but we'll keep causing problems. And Dan Jebson off the bench, 1-1. What about you?
Look, I'm going to be honest here. Bournemouth will win 2-1.
What? You just told me to piss off with a draw.
No.
You think they'll have too much?
I think they probably will. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay. Yeah, I can obviously see that.
But I would rip your arm off for a draw. I really would.
Yeah.
I would absolutely take that. Really would.
100%.
So let's look forward to the games that we've got, because obviously it's Chelsea, then it's Newcastle, then it's Forest, then it's Liverpool. 4 of the top 5. Just give me some numbers.
Seventh and have four. How can you have four teams above you?
Yeah.
Seventh for the next four.
It's mad, isn't it? But look, chuck some numbers at me, Tom, in terms of what you would be happy with from a points return from those 4 games. Because let's face it, they're not easy, are they?
Happy with 6. I'd love 6.
So where would those be coming from? The 6?
Well, you're hoping Forest at home.
Yeah.
And then you're hoping you nick a random win somewhere else, or you stay unbeaten and nick 3 draws, obviously. But I think we can nick a win over, Chelsea, Newcastle, or Liverpool. They're all going to be really difficult. I think we've got to look at it. It's mad, Nick, because you keep saying it, then you think Forest are in a title race.
They are. If they beat Liverpool in the week, wow, it really is. It would only be a 3-point difference. I know they've got a game in hand, but
for some reason, I think I wouldn't take a draw at home to Forest. And that seems like I'm being disrespectful to Forest. I'm not. I fancy us at home to teams that aren't the...
Well, look, our record speaks for itself against the top 6 sides this season at home, apart from Chelsea, ironically.
If you're being pessimistic and you look at the fixtures, you go, God, them 4 games, you'd be lucky to get a point or 2. Wouldn't you, really? You're looking at Chelsea, Newcastle away, you can't be expecting anything. So say that's 0. You can't expect anything against Liverpool. So it's going to be really difficult. I don't see us losing 4 in a row, though.
I think the beauty of Andoni football is that when we're at our most pessimistic is when we're surprised the most as well.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think it's me being quite positive as well, actually. I think we're going to get 5 out of them 4.
Okay.
So I think we'll get a point at Chelsea, as I just predicted. I think we'll go to Newcastle and nick a point.
We'll lose to Forest, we'll beat Liverpool.
We'll beat Forest, and actually that's probably more likely. No, I think we'll beat Forest and lose to Liverpool. But it's really tough. You've got to take it game by game a little bit. This is a really hard run, but if we come through it, mate, with a decent points return, then Jesus, we're in a good place. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me if we go to Chelsea, win, go to Newcastle, win, lose to Forest.
It'll be interesting to know what your thoughts are on the FA Cup, Tom. I challenged you last week to write something about David Brooks. You did on the BBC. I think we need to talk about a cup run and the potential of that. However, the draw's not been kind.
It's not been kind for fans.
Everton away, mate. That's awful. And by the way, I swear I've said on the last 560 million vlogs, this is the last time we'll go to Goodison. Yeah. But then they played for it for another season. It was the last time earlier this season. Now we'll go back there again. Or are we? Will we go?
I mean, I saw it, I thought I'm never going to go there again. No chance, but I'll be there. I don't... It's a weird one because, I mean, at home you think that's a good fixture because you go, we should beat them. They got Moisey back, so they're going to be stronger. But from a footballing perspective, we've played them twice, beat them twice. They won't be happy with the draw either. But from a fan's perspective, it's hideous. I literally looked at it and went, if I'm just going to be content, obviously I wanted an Exeter or it was bloody Forest, God, they're having a great season. Or one of them sort of teams. But I thought if we can avoid Newcastle, Liverpool, Man City and Everton away, I'll be happy. And we get Everton away. But, as you said, mate, from a footballing perspective, if you go off the mindset of, we're joking, it's very unlikely that we're going to get Europe, especially with the injuries, right? We ain't going down. It's the best chance for a cup run. Yeah. Because you beat Everton and you get a nice draw. Yeah. Suddenly, you're only a few away. Well, we've got to the quarters once. So I just wonder, you've mentioned it before in previous shows, that Andoni at Vallecano, he loved a cup run. And I just wonder if there's a thought of, let's have it. The problem is the injuries, that it's hard to keep everyone fresh. But listen, I think we can go and win at Everton, and then who knows, you go and get Liverpool away in the next round and you're probably out. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's not nice from a fan's point of view to get Everton away again. I can't be arsed. But before that, all eyes will be on the Premier League. Safe travels if you're going to Stamford Bridge. Hopefully Bournemouth can make it a blue day against Chelsea. I'm doing my best Gary Lineker there. Up the chest. Yeah, you get me all Gary Lineker's back, are you? But that's Jeb of the Hut for the winner.